Hey everyone, it's Miss Spencer. Today we'll be comparing whole numbers when represented in different forms. The objective for today is students will be able to compare whole numbers when they are represented in standard form, word form, expanded form, and unit form. Here we have 3,425, and we're going to compare it to 3,465. Both of these numbers are already represented in standard form, so we don't need to rewrite them because we can already compare them in the form that they're in. We're going to start by creating a place value chart. And now we can insert our digits into the correct place values. So we're going to start with 3,425 since that's our first number. The 3 is in the thousands place, the 4 is in the hundreds, the 2 is in the tens place, and the 5 is in the ones. Below it, we can put our second number we're comparing, 3,465. When comparing place values and numbers, we always start with the biggest place value. In this number on both these numbers is the thousandth place. So we're going to start by comparing the thousands. In both these numbers, the 3 is in the thousandths place. Since the same digit is in both numbers, we can move on to the hundreds place. In the hundreds place, we have a 4 in the first number and the second number. So far these numbers are equal to each other. We're going to move on to the tens place. Here we have a 2 in the tens place in the first number and a 6 in the tens place in the second number. So the 6 tens is greater than 2 tens, which means our second number is bigger. 3,425 is less than 3,465 because the 6 tens is bigger than 2 tens. Remember, when we use that symbol, you can think of this as an alligator that's opening up to eat the bigger number, but we read the sign as less than. Let's try 12,504 compared to 12,054. Let's start with our place value chart and inserting both of our numbers. Make sure that we're lining up place values. So since the 1 is in the 10,000ths place, that's why this 1 is here in the 10,000ths place. Let's start by comparing the biggest place value, which is the 10,000ths place. In both these numbers, a 1 is in the 10,000ths place. So far these numbers are equal to each other. We're going to move on to the thousands place. Once again, the same digit 2 is in both numbers in the thousands place. So as of right now, the value of both these numbers are equal. Let's move on to the hundreds place. Here we have 500s and 0 hundreds. 500s is bigger than 0 hundreds. So that means our first number is greater than our second number. 12,504 is greater than 12,054. This symbol here we read as greater than. We always are comparing our first number to the second number. So our first number is greater than our second number. 12,504 is greater than 12,054. Now let's compare 1,342 to 876. We have our place value chart and we've inserted our digits correctly into the place value chart. The 1 is in the thousands place in our first number, which is why the 1 is in the thousands place. The 8 is in the hundreds place in our second number, which is why the 8 is in the hundreds place. Even though there's a blank space here, we need to make sure that the digits go in the correct place values. Now we're going to start with the biggest place value in any of the numbers that we're comparing. In this case, the 1 in the thousands place is the biggest place value. So we're going to be comparing the 1 in the thousands place to a 0 in the thousands place because this part was empty. When there's space is blank in our place value chart, we just know that there's 0 thousands. So 1,000 compared to 0 thousands. 1,000 is greater than 0 thousands. So 1,342 is greater than 876. Now let's try to compare numbers when they're not written in standard form. What we need to do is first rewrite both of these numbers in standard form. This first number is written in word form, 2,308. So let's rewrite that in standard form. The 2 is in the thousands place, and then we have 308 in the hundreds, tens, and ones place. Now, this one is represented in expanded form. We can see that 2 times 1,000 means the 2 is in the thousands place, 3 times 100 means the 3 is in the hundreds place, and 8 times 10 means the 8 is in the tens place. So written in standard form, our number would be 2,380. Now that our numbers are both written in standard form, we can go ahead and put them in our place value chart. 2,308 goes on top because that's our first number. 2,380 goes on the bottom because that's the second number we're comparing. Start by comparing the greatest place value. Here, thousands is our greatest place value. In both numbers, there's a 2 in the thousands place, so we move on to the hundreds place. In the hundreds place, there's a 3 in the hundreds place for both numbers, so we move on to the tens place. Here, we can see we have a 0 in our first number in the tens place and an 8 in the second number in our tens place. 8 tens is greater than 0 tens, so our second number is greater. That means that our sign is going to open up to the bigger number, which is 2,380. So we would read it as 2,308 is less than 2,380. Let's try another one. Here we have 10,000 plus 4,000 plus 300 plus 20 plus 5. So we can rewrite that in standard form, putting a 1 in the 10,000s place, a 4 in the thousands place, a 3 in the hundreds place, a 2 in the tens place, and 5 in the ones place. Here, our second number is written in unit form. We can see a 1 is in the 10,000s place value, the 4 is in the thousands place value, 31 tens means there's 3 hundreds and 1 10, and 5 in the ones place. Now that these numbers are written in standard form, we can compare them in our place value chart. 14,325 goes on top, 14,315 goes on the bottom. Start by comparing the biggest place values, which is the 10,000s place. In both numbers, there's a 1 in the 10,000s place, so as of right now, these numbers are equivalent to each other. Let's move on to the thousands place. There's a 4 in both the first number and the second number in the thousands place, so we move on to the hundreds place. There's a 3 in both the first and second number in the hundreds place, so we move to the tens place. In the tens place, we have 2 tens compared to 1 10. 2 tens is bigger than 1 10, so our first number is bigger. 14,325 is greater than 14,315.